Hello everybody, BTMReview.com here with episode 31 of the Retro Rampage podcast. I'm Aaron, and I got Zach here as usual. He's my Garth Algier. What's up?
Extreme close-up.
Whoa! Just a trim, alright? Don't buzz me. But, I hate it. I feel cheated, man. I just did a voice, and I feel cheated because we just got done talking about a WWE game, and Zach didn't give me his fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin impression. I think Stone Cold needs to give us an explanation. Why, Stone Cold, did you not make an appearance in the last podcast? What the fuck's the matter with you?
This is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I didn't make an appearance because I didn't want to, damn it. Give me a hell yeah. I was afraid to because people are sleeping in the other room.
Who needs a fucking sound drop, man? We got the sound drops here. But today's episode is a fun one. We've been doing these fun sort of like just chatterbox episodes the last few weeks where we kind of discuss a favorite or like a list episodes. We know how you YouTubers and you internet weirdos and you iTunes guys love lists. It's like a compulsive thing. There's people all over YouTube making fucking tons of money just by giving lists. And what are these lists for? It's like Watch Mojo, top 10, anything. Yeah. It ranges from all top 10 according to who? The guy that wrote the fucking article on Watch Mojo? It's so funny. It's like the only top 10 I'm really interested in is my top 10 and I guess God's top 10. That's like the definitive, isn't it? Like, why do I care what the Tyrone Bigum's crackhead's top 10 is? Isn't it kind of a funny concept?
Yeah.
It really is. But whatever, we're going to be hypocrites and we're going to do sort of our own kind of best stuff. And last week we talked about our favorites or, what we felt was kind of underappreciated or not so bad video game video game adapted movies. I couldn't get my fucking word straight there. Now, this week we're going to do the worst of the worst of that genre. Now the thing is it's a lot harder to do this because most of them are really awful. Yeah. So whereas it was not so bad to pick out a couple of Desert Roses in the last episode of ones that aren't so bad, we really, really got to narrow it down because we could talk for days about the ones that suck. Because it's most of them. So, do you have in mind, Zach, a couple that you think are just so bad where they just take the crown?
Yeah. My first
start us off, man.
My first one's, it's one that I always like, how did they screw this game up? And I always go back and want to play it. Like, I got it on my PSP, and I try to play it every once in a while, and it's Evil Dead Hail to the King.
You know what? Okay, I'm going to stop you right there. Now, Evil Dead Hail to the King was the first one released on the Dreamcast and PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
And see, to me, that should have been on last week's because I think it's one of those games that's not good, but it's missing something. But there's a charm to it because it's kind of, even though when it came out, the graphics were kind of lackluster. They weren't as good as like Resident Evil 3 and stuff coming out. Yeah. They were kind of poor man's. And the game was lacking somewhere. It wasn't scary, but it was fun still being back at the cabin.
Yeah.
And
my biggest problem.
And Bruce Campbell doing the voices. But yeah, continue. I think it's a not so bad one, but continue. Yeah,
my biggest problem is always that I just have such a hard time with the controls. They did this thing where like the square is circle and square are your attack buttons, and like square is the chainsaw and circle's the shoot. It always takes so long to get used to, and I lose patience. I do want to get the PlayStation 2 ones and try those.
I can't quite remember how the controls felt. And it wouldn't be I'd have to play it today because, back then, even if they sucked, I was used to playing Resident Evil 2 and 3. So I was used to tank controllers. So yeah. I think
I have no problem with tank controllers.
Well, I can't remember. I'm just saying, like, back in those days, controls are generally really good. The bar has been raised these days. Yeah. So I think back then I just had a higher threshold for shitty controllers. So I don't really recall. I just remember the game missing in some areas, but it was at least fun just to have Bruce Campbell in the cast. And I know Hail to the King was sort of a quick retelling of the first game and then Army of Darkness, and then it's like a new story, like a follow-up or something. It's like its own little tweaking of the events or something. But it was a unique experience. It wasn't just like, hey, we're playing Evil Dead 1, the game. I did play the first sequel on the PS2.
I did too. I don't remember much about it.
Wasn't there two?
Yeah, there was two.
There was the third one that had Ted Raimi playing the voice of some little midget Igor-looking sidekick.
Yeah, I want to get that one and see what it's like.
I haven't. The second one, was actually is kind of more the same, where I think it had a redeeming quality about it. It was missing something because it was kind of a poor man's budget title, but once again you had Bruce Campbell back, and that made almost the whole thing worth it. And it was cool because it followed up the events of, I guess, the first game, or maybe it was even Army of Darkness. So now you were like in S-Mart on the streets, and Deadites are roaming, your town, your modern day.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool. So, and it was one of those games where it was a lot of fun just blasting the fucking winged Deadites with your shotgun, your boomstick, and all that stuff. But it got redundant.
Yeah.
But it's one of those games that, you know what, you have fun for about 20 minutes walking around the city shooting shit, So, I know, I never beat it, so I
didn't either.
It's one of those things, man. A great game, you're gonna fucking beat it, right?
Yeah.
But I've been trying to get my hands on those games again. I used to have them. I used to have the first one on the PlayStation, and I used to have that PS2 one, and I think it's Fistful of Boomstick. That's what it's called.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Okay, and I don't have them anymore, and they're not cheap games anymore. You can't find them for cheap. You have to, because they're not super common.
Yeah.
And you got to hit up eBay, and they go for a little too much money than they're worth. But I'd love to have Hail to the King on the Dreamcast, which I never had that version. But yeah, I never played the third one. See, yeah, I think that's crazy, man, because I think that kind of applies to last week, but we're different people. That's crazy. So you really think that's the worst of the worst? Have you never played? Okay, well that's what I'm saying. Dude, there's so many bad ones. It's like we got to narrow this down to the worst, the fucking worst. I can't believe you're saying a game like Hail to the King, which has at least Bruce Campbell voicing the damn thing, when there's games like Predator out there on the NES.
Yeah,
and Rambo.
I just always have. I need to try to be take my time and learn the controls and all that. I'm sure I'd like it a lot more if I took more time with it.
Man, but I can't blame you for mentioning that, just because it's tough. I'm trying to think of what I think the worst of the worst is.
Yeah.
And it's so tough, man, because there's just so much shit. It gets so shitty to where it's all on this common, just fucking chud dwelling level. So I think I'm going to do a little bit of a cop-out and say the last one I played, because it was fucking horrible. Don't ask me why. I was curious. Because it's a game I've had in my collection for a long time, and I've never played it, and I know it's going to be horrible. And I finally popped it in a few months ago, but it's the Lawnmower Man game on the Super NES. Have you ever played that?
No.
It's the shittiest piece of shit that ever shit.
That's funny.
It's so bad. And then it's funny because I kind of kept it going. I was like, all right, well, let's see what True Lies is all about. The True Lies game was shit.
Yeah, I've never played that either.
God, they're so shitty, man. But yeah, Lawnmower Man is so shitty. It's a horrible little platformer. You don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't even know who you're supposed to be playing as in that game. It's stupid. Those games never really went along with the movie.
Yeah. Speaking of that, the movie doesn't go along with the original book. Have you ever read the short story, Lawnmower Man?
No. It's which is Stephen King, right?
Yeah, I guess it's about somebody told me one time it's about a guy who wakes up in the middle of the night and sees some weird creature mowing his lawn or something. Or something weird. It sounded interesting when he told me. It has nothing to do with virtual reality though. But really not a thing? Yep, nothing.
See, I forget that was a Stephen King adaptation, and I think Stephen King likes to forget that too. But yeah, the game is shitty, and those games never had anything to do with the movie. It's like some random ass game. We've already talked about it, like fucking Tim the Toolman Taylor and Dinosaur Land. But in the movie games, they would always have those little cutscenes where it'd be shitty blurry pictures that were from the movie, just to make sure everybody was still on board that hey, we're promoting a movie here. I think. Well, I'm gonna let you do one more because I definitely have another one that has to fucking go on it.
Okay. I got one from the PlayStation 2 era. It's the Fight Club game.
Where you could unlock Fred Durst?
Yeah.
Whose dick did he suck? I mean, I get it. He was all the rage in the year 2000.
Yeah. I remember like he had, I think he actually like referenced Fight Club in a bunch of songs or something too. So that's probably why.
Oh, he did. I remember. There was one song that was on the radio. He'd be like, I sing the Fight Club about 46 times. Fucking stupid,
He
man.
sounded just like him, man.
I know. He sounds like a whiny fat bitch. Everybody! It's like he's taking the ass. Every time he's like, Absolutely stupid.
Bring it on!
Giannato! Bring it to the back street! It's fucking stupid, man. I just want to bring that beat back! Fucking stupid, man. So dumb.
I didn't look at the screw on the first date, because that's a no-go. That song.
I don't know, dude. I think they were so big that everybody was listening to those CDs, so you heard the shit all the time, you know.
How could you tell somebody like that? Hope you know that I'm never coming back. That was a song that I actually liked.
His rhymes are whack, dude. They're
they are
horrible. And you know what? It's one of those bands where, like, I think radio even aborted them. Radio will still play fucking Aha. Radio will still play one-hit wonders from the night. But Limp Bizkit, I don't think radio's like, whoa, we're kind of embarrassed too.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? If you go back and read reviews and stuff about like their first two albums, people are like, oh man, they're breaking ground, they're so good. And then I remember like they went into the studio like, I don't know, 3 months after their second album came out, and they're like, we're gonna do a third one already, and they're like, oh snap, they're already coming out with another one. And it's just like, oh fuck, this sucks.
Remember when he would always be like, who's hot, who's not? Who's hot, who's not?
Yeah.
Fucking, I just remember that Method Man song.
My generation.
We don't give a fucking, yeah. You always do that, like, fucking try and raspy or whatever. And I hate it when he would actually scream, because it sounded like he was taking a shit. Like, I don't even want to try and imitate that. I'll blow up my vocal cords, because it was like a groany fucking I'm dropping a deuce type shit. It was just dumb.
Knows what it's like.
Somebody told me, somebody was like, hey, this is a fun, I know we're supposed to be talking about video games here, but Fred Durst's too fucking fun to ditch, and we got to stay on this topic for a second. I'm a big world traveler, and I spent a good 4 months in Russia, and I had my little acoustic guitar, and everybody was surrounded. I was living in this flat with these Russian college kids, and they wanted me, you know how it is with a bunch of people that don't play guitar, and then there's one guy with a guitar and everybody begs that fucker to play guitar for him, like he's a performing monkey. Well, that was me, and they were shouting out covers, and I was trying my best to play them, and they're like, play Limp Bizkit Behind Blue Eyes. I'm like, no. First of
all you gotta do is play the Who Behind the Blue Eyes.
Yeah, I was like, that's a Who song. First of all, I think Limp Bizkit Behind Blue Eyes is very, very nice. I'm like, fuck. So
every time I have a guitar, my cousin comes over. My cousin Ryan, he's like, "Play My Name Is Mud" by Primus. I'm like, dude, that's a song for the bass guitar.
Yeah. We ended up settling, and I was like, look, anything else but that, I won't do it. And they're like, how about System of Down, Lonely Day? I'm like, all right, I'll fucking fake that one. It was so stupid. But anyway, enough of that bozo-ass clown. Yeah, Fight Club. Was that the worst part about the game?
And you could play as Meatloaf, too.
Oh, with Bitch Tits Meatloaf? Yeah. But was that the worst part? Was the controller shitty, or did it even go along with the movie, or was it like a fighting game?
It was just a straight fighting game. I don't remember there being much story at all, if there was any. I think it was just kind of like an arcade-style fighting game.
Was it as shitty as the overrated movie?
Oh, I love that movie.
I think it's overrated. We're not a film podcast right now. We're not doing that. I know I just caused a shitstorm by saying that. I usually do whenever I say it in public. Whenever I say it around friends and I reveal to new friends that I think the movie's overrated, I get so much hate and everybody calls me a snob. But I back it up too. And then also, nobody ever believes me when I tell them I saw the fucking ending coming a mile away.
Oh, really?
It's so fucking obvious, man. It is absolutely so. I mean, the thing is you're talking to a film freak that breaks formulas down. It was obvious within the first 20 minutes that Brad Pitt is never in the same fucking room as Ed Norton. It was pretty fucking clear. So I don't know, but the lowest common denominator.
I think they kind of like take you off guard by making you think you're just gonna watch them. Like I remember going in. I remember my cousin was like, "You got to watch this," and we rented it one time, and I'm just expecting like this stupid movie that's just about a bunch of dumbass guys like wanting to be badasses and fighting somewhere, and I wasn't expecting what actually came.
I'll tell you who came.
Me.
No, I'm just kidding. Who's that? I think he had a song. I think they had a song called "Come on My Shoes."
Limp Bizkit?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and I remember he was on like some late night fucking talk show. I think it was like a short-lived Matt Pinfield show called Fat Farm, obviously endorsed by that brand Fat, P-H-A-T, that's not around anymore, Fat Farm. It was a brand of clothing. And he was talking about how he can squeeze one out in a minute. That's like the only time I ever watched the show. I was passing by, he's like, I can squeeze one out in a minute. And he like throws his hands up in the air like fucking raising the roof. Like, you're a fucking douchebag. I'm done with this. I was born in the wrong era. This was back in the day, in the late 90s, early 2000s, where people gave me a hard time because I listened to Megadeth and Judas Priest, and everybody just like thought I was some redneck. Like, oh, you listen to old, you listen to old fucking man metal. And it's funny how if you could only fast forward, not even 4 years, like I think starting with like 2003, there was this big resurgence of like the new wave of British heavy metal where all these bands were fucking trying to be them.
Mm-hmm.
And it lasted for almost the rest of the game.
Weren't bands like detuning their guitars and trying to be new metal or trying to appeal to that?
Well, they were doing that with the Limp Bizkit day, but then I'm saying people are starting to like have the throwback shit, and
oh yeah,
I don't know. So I was only a redneck Joe Dirt joke for a couple of years, you know. And it's like, so I was one of those guys like when Lamb of God came out, these bands that were like back in like 2003, and they were kind of a buzz band. I was like, hey man, look, you fuckers would have made fun of this 2 years ago. This stuff, they were underground 2 years ago. They were barely in like page 49 of Metal Maniacs, like some underground freaking zine, you know, because like 2 years ago, you guys were listening to El Nino, but now you think it's all hip. Whatever, fuck yourself. El Nino went old school. Like, well, we gotta follow the trend, man. But Mexican new metal. Pfft. Anyway, Fight Club, Fred Durst, gross. Now, I'm torn whether to say this one or not, just because we kind of already talked about it, at least made fun of it for a little bit, but it doesn't get much fucking worse than the Batman Forever game. That's too easy to keep. I mean, we already talked about it, so I guess I won't talk about it again. We've talked about it a couple weeks ago, but and how fucking horrible the controllers are, and the shitty sound bites. Man, fucking shit. But that's pretty bad. What else? What else is really, really bad? I almost don't want to say the NES, like the games like Predator and Rambo and the original Terminator, because those are so bad. I want to do something super unique. Mm-hmm. Everybody loved. I remember a lot of people liking Die Hard Trilogy back in the day.
Yeah.
Did you play that?
Yeah, I did for a little bit. I don't remember much about it.
Yeah, I don't think I could throw that in this list just because I think back then it would have been cool. I think it would age horribly now. It'd be so bad. But I'm gonna go ahead and say, I need a drum roll. It's not a. It's a buzz. It's a bug. Dude.
I can't.
Like a fucking mosquito. They're all so fucking bad, Zach. I don't fucking know. Give me some ideas. They're all bad. I could say RoboCop, but I don't want to say RoboCop because everybody fucking talks about Everybody talks about. Not really RoboCop, but like Terminator and stuff like that. I have the Dirty Harry game, which sucks a lot of dick.
Remember they were gonna make a Dirty Harry game for the PlayStation 3, and it got canceled.
Oh yeah, or they're gonna do it sort of like a Godfather type game, where it's gonna like look, you know,
it was gonna kind of be like another movie, I guess. Mention Back to the Future.
But you like that one?
No, the original NES one.
Oh God, that game's horrible. That game's absolutely horrible.
Going around collecting clocks.
Hard as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a game that doesn't make any sense. I think Marty had blonde hair in that game.
Yeah.
You know what? The Lethal Weapon game is shitty.
Yep.
You know, when you trade out your characters, they just literally swap sprites. It's rigs. First of all, they're racist because the main sprite is default Riggs. He's got the mullet and everything. He's white. He's got a brown mullet. But when you can switch as Murtaugh at any point in the game, I guess. But when you switch it, it just changes the color palette. So now you're Riggs, but he's got a brown face and black mullet.
Oh my god!
And it's like, you know what?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. Like you. The thing is I get it. It's a money thing. They could have still used the same sprite. Just fucking cut off the long hair. Make the second sprite a guy, you know, the same sprite as Riggs, but give him at least short hair, man. It's so racist. It's like the Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they're just spray painting their face. The racist, you know. Yeah. And that one's pretty bad.
I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
The whole time you play as him,
probably, but like, I want to play as Leo Getz from the third movie. Rob, we gotta talk, babe. Oh, he became like a fucking real estate agent or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm at a loss here. I don't know. Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah, where you're playing as the Ghostbusters logo.
Ugh, sucks so bad. I don't know. I think where I'm gonna come at it from, I'll make it easy. I'm gonna say the game I was probably most disappointed in, and that was. Did you ever play the Jurassic Park game?
For the NES or the newest one?
Oh, for the Sega Genesis.
Oh no, I haven't.
Play as the Raptor or Dr. Grant?
I remember it. I don't think I played that.
I can't say that one because actually I thought that one was okay back in the day. I'm at a loss of fucking words.
Remember the recent PlayStation 2 Rocky game?
It looked cool, but it probably was sucky, wasn't it?
It had so many glitches. You just look on YouTube for the glitches of that game. They're ridiculous. Like just videos of Rocky coming out with.
You know what? You know what I'm gonna give it to? You just gave me a great idea. I'm gonna give it to that fucking new rail shooter Rambo game.
Oh, have you played that?
Oh yes, I flirted with it. And I watched it on videos first, and I'm like, I gotta fucking try this. And the thing is just watch the videos. You're getting everything out of the videos.
Yeah, it's just an on-rail shooter.
It is so stupid. It is the worst looking Sylvester Stallone sprite I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That big ass head and that little body.
Amazingly bad. His lips look like chewed up pieces of bubble gum.
I'll never understand why they play you all these cutscenes from the movies because you're playing like 1 through 3,
yeah.
And they use their shitty ingrained graphics, but they use the ripped audio from the movies. And I'm like, well, clearly they could get the audio. So clearly they had access to some of the copyright, I guess. So why not just give me the cutscenes? Just give me the movie. Is that because it's not cool to do full motion video anymore? But remember back in the PC, those games where you just get like clips from the actual movie?
Yeah. Just
do that. Like, for God's sakes. Because I can't take it seriously when you got Rambo's fucking bobblehead giving these freaking dramatic lines. It's never over. Yeah, fucking talking to the colonel. It's just so stupid. That game is probably the worst game, not of all time, but it's definitely the worst game of the last generation. But gross. Yeah, that's what it gets. You guys need to fucking look up the YouTube videos of that. It's ridiculous.
Some people probably don't even know it exists. I remember seeing it in the video store and just be like, what?
Oh, it's so horrible. The thing is like, I remember when they were talking about that game being made, of course I didn't have high hopes for it but I kind of thought this could have potential if they just took it seriously. A Rambo game? That's badass. But the thing is, they're not. They're selling a brand. Like, oh, this is Rambo. This is a franchise. We'll put about $2 into it, and we'll make about $5 at least. We'll make a profit.
Yeah.
And it was just so slapped together. And I don't know why Sylvester Stallone signed off on that shit.
Yeah.
Because God knows I know he did.
Yeah, I remember watching a video of it, and it was like they were trying to appeal to the Call of Duty people too, because I remember there was like regenerating health. So, I hate that. That's a trend I want to see die, is whenever you get shot and then all of a sudden your screen looks like it's covered in like red paint or something, and then you gotta hide for it to go away.
It's so fucking bad.
You knew it went too far whenever Skyrim comes out and it has regenerating health. When it's a game that you also have a health spell that you can use anytime.
I literally made myself nauseous talking about those games. They're so bad.
This one's usually on everybody's list, but I kind of like both these games, Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, man. They're garbage, man. You're crazy, dude. I'm curious how the new Friday the 13th game's going to be. It's been kind of in development for a while.
Yeah.
A new Freddy game would be cool. Actually, even if it was just sort of in the vein of like a Ghostbusters thing, or just like a video game sequel. I
was like, I remember thinking like that'd be awesome if like like Silent Hill. Like how you go to these locations and then they usually turn into like the nightmare world. I thought that'd be cool if like you had a Freddy game where you fall asleep and you just all the levels are kind of these nightmares and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, you could do a lot with it. You really could. Yeah. And it'd be even if it was sort of like a PlayStation 3 Ghostbusters, where it was more or less just a movie and it was its own unique story, but like even though it was linear, it was still kind of fun just to have the voice actors and go along and progress the story, even though there really wasn't any. It kind of held your hand and pushed you along. Yeah. I would even take that because I think a Freddy game with really like HD graphics, modern graphics would be awesome. And Robert Englund, I know, would do the voice. If he'll do fucking Call of Duty Zombies, he'll do his flagship character. And oh man, actually, you could pay all the old actors to come back, but you could just do a new game, new story. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I wish they would do that. That's more of a games I wish they'd make type of topic. But anyway, let us know what you guys think is the shittiest of the shit when it comes to film franchise video games. You're probably going to struggle just like I did. I mean, there's just so much bad stuff and it's too easy to pick on certain games, but
it's hard to make a list. And like a lot of mine were just kind of based on like how much I love the movie and wanted to kind of have a great to go with it, like the Evil Dead one.
Oh, the Evil Dead isn't so bad though, but let us know what you think is the worst, and if there's anything that maybe we didn't touch on that you think we should have, let us know on btmreview.com. Let us know in the comment sections there on YouTube, where you can also subscribe. The Twitters and the Tumblrs and the Facebooks and the iTunes. I'm kind of going into Bill Cosby there. That's not intentional, but
Jello pudding.
Oh gosh. Okay, so let us know in all those places. Be sure to subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Tell your friends about us, and please leave feedback. We love the feedback. We'll usually address the feedback if you want to leave some feedback. Leave comments. I love it, man. Make fun of Zach. I'll read that stuff all day long.
Do people make fun of me on?
No. You're not Riverman now. Our other BTM cohort, Riverman, he gets a lot of shit on our other podcasts. It's so funny. But anyway, until next time, I'm Aaron.
I'm Zach.
See you guys later. Adios.